State Senator Jim Runestad is with us, the Republican from White Lake, as we start the new year on the heels of 13 bills being vetoed, 21 into law. Any of them particularly sticking to your craw, Senator?
Yes. Thank you for having me, Michael Patrick.
Thank you.
The one that does my craw was the $220 million to extend unemployment benefits to the citizens of the state of Michigan, because we have so many individuals who, through no fault of their own, are out of work, and this was going to allow them to extend benefits. And with what we've seen with this lockdown, and so many employees this year are going to be impacted, all these restaurants that are closed down, all these businesses, there's so many workers who are going to be needing those additional benefits. And then the fraud that has also prevented so many of these individuals from getting their unemployment checks has been particularly frustrating. Our office has dealt with literally thousands of phone calls that we have worked relentlessly to try to get people their benefits. But what happened is you had a situation early on where the head of the unemployment office, insurance office, said, well, I want to get these checks out there. So he turned off the fraud prevention measures that would prevent fraud from occurring. And then it just opened the floodgates. There was these Nigerian gangs that were getting into the system. There were employees that were hired, contract workers that were not background checked. The employment insurance office thought that the contractors they hired, the employers, were checking them, and these companies thought that the state was checking them. So nobody was checking them, and we had these fraudsters who were being hired into the state system and using their pass and their ID in exchange for money to allow these checks to be going out. And the numbers are massive. Deloitte did a 30-page report and said $1.5 billion has been lost by the state of Michigan due to fraud. And this money's gone. These gang members who have got the bulk of the money are vaporous. There's no way to get the money back. So what then happened is the state finally got aware that there's a massive fraud and started cracking down. But who then was getting cracked down on? Our constituents, like I have, calling me, who are desperate. Some of them since March have not received a payment because now we're going through all of these verification checks for the legitimate people, and these fraudsters have run off with $1.5 billion. So it's just a very, very frustrating situation to have to deal with, that legitimate people still can't get their checks. These fraudsters, I'm understanding, are still getting checks, and it's just been a cluster.
Okay. Well, as J.P. McCarthy used to say, a billion here, a billion there. Pretty soon you're talking about real money, and this is real money. And by the way, this is our money that they took, so we should feel especially put off by that. By the way, you were picked the Senate's most conservative member, I see, in MERS News in 2020. So that is a badge of honor, I suppose, and worth noting as well. Thank you for the eye-opening and disturbing report. State Senator Jim Runestad, Republican from White Lake.